I think it would take a few rounds.
Really?
But yeah. First of all, Jake is a lot bigger. Jake's a lot bigger.
But what weight would they? Fight
well,
at?
I don't think Jake is getting anywhere lower than 205 pounds.
There's a few Americans, and this might be crazy, I think Jake Paul's got a chance. And I know that sounds crazy, but I do think that there are, where I don't believe anyone over here thinks this goes more than around 2 max.
Joe Rogan reacts with surprise to Jake Paul's new physique before the Anthony Joshua fight. He says Jake looks focused, sharp, and well prepared. Rogan mentions that Jake has already fought real fighters before, even if some were past their prime, and still trains seriously. He also points out that Joshua is getting closer to 40, which slightly changes the matchup. This age factor makes the fight more interesting to him. And Rogan says he is excited to see how it unfolds.
Crazy. I like a little freak show every now and then. As far as, like, would you like to see...
I like
Jake
a
Paul,
lot of freak show.
Look, if Jake Paul wants to fight for the title, I would like to see him beat top contenders in the light heavyweight division or whatever division he chooses to compete at, and then eventually fight for a title. Yeah.
But are the fights even real? Like the Tyson fight? Like I saw video breakdowns of Tyson.
Jake Paul's recent physical transformation has drawn strong reactions across combat sports. A short online video shows him looking stronger, leaner, and better conditioned than ever. His stance, movement, and confidence suggest he is preparing for the biggest fight of his life, with Anthony Joshua ahead. This version of Jake looks like a response to critics who once called him a gimmick. He appears determined to prove he belongs at the top level. Fans have noticed how fast his body has changed, showing this camp is about work, not hype. Former world champion Andre Berto offers a different take on the fight. While most fans expect Anthony Joshua to win by knockout, Berto says it is not that simple. Joshua has not looked dominant in recent fights, and that inconsistency adds doubt. At the same time, Jake is working with experienced trainers who help him use his youth and conditioning. Berto believes the result depends on which version of Joshua shows up, with Jake improving. He feels the fight could go either way.
Like, you one of the first ones, and he gonna always take care of Burt. But then Floyd was as massive as he was. So how you split, how you do that?
No, I mean one thing with Al's always gonna, he got loyalty to, he got big loyalty to Floyd as well. Because they made so much money together. But, it's funny how, he can say whatever he wanna say. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how that, how the fight got, it kind of came about, but they had the Pacquiao and Floyd fight. We all go up there, we check the fight out, good situation. And then just me and my lady, we walking through the casino. What's his name? Rodney Jerkins.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Rodney Jerkins, big music producer. Yeah. Y'all can talk to him and ask him. Yeah. Rodney.
Some analysts examine Jake Paul's preparation from both training and business angles. They focus on his sparring with heavyweight fighters and how it benefits everyone involved. For Jake, sparring bigger men helps him feel real power and prepare for Joshua's strength. It forces him to handle pressure and stay calm. For the heavyweights, the benefit is money. Sparring with Jake pays far more than normal camps, making these sessions valuable for all sides.
Oh, they're getting a lot of money to be there, and it's easy work. But what is in that for Lawrence Okoli, Frank Sanchez, and Jared Anderson?
Easy money. I don't know how much he'll be paying sparring partners. I assume to get those caliber of sparring partners in, it's got to be big money.
Lawrence Okoli's got a fight coming up. If you're Joe Gallagher, are you go spar Jake Paul? Is that going to help you?
No, absolutely not. Are you going to get a bit of profile from it, perhaps? People are going to hear your name. Yeah. Does that help? I mean, we're going to spar with Kessler, and I got £500 or euros for the week. It was the hardest money I've ever earned in my life.
But how much did you learn from?
Yeah, me, bundles.
Yeah. What's Okoli learn? I don't get it.
No.
I do get it, the money. But when you got a fight coming up, I'm thinking, really? Are you going to get anything out of that sparring that's going to help you in your fight? Maybe you are. Maybe I'm just completely diminishing Jake Paul's ability, but I'm struggling. I really am.
Fair play to Jake Paul. I mean...
And you're right, there's a bit of a conflict there, because Joshua used to manage him.
Yeah, it was through 258, right?
Yeah. But surely they're smashing him to pieces. Surely Jake's going, oh, what the fuck? This is fucking horrible.
Every single one of those 3 fighters there could annihilate him in a round.
Yeah, so
Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen shift the focus to Anthony Joshua. They say Joshua must understand what this fight means beyond winning. With the bout airing on Netflix, millions of casual viewers will judge boxing. They believe Joshua must treat this as a statement fight. He needs full focus, discipline, and confidence to show why he remains a top boxer. This is not a fight where he can afford to hesitate.
If mentally he's not like, all right, I got a job to do, I'm representing boxing, a lot of American fans don't know me, this will be the most watched thing on fucking Netflix ever for sports-wise, so I got to make a good, showing. Hopefully he has that approach. I assume he does, because he did with Francis. He was like, nah, bitch, the train stops here.
Yeah,
And Tyson Fury's a little more of a character. Hey, wow, what are you gonna do? Let's move around a little bit.
I remember when he caught Klitschko with that uppercut, Anthony Joshua.
And he got caught. He got set down.
Klitschko, yes. And Klitschko is a big man. You're just dealing with literally a different ecosystem, man.
But that's what makes it, that's why it's a brilliant move by Jake. Because his fan base is like, oh my God, Jake, it's David versus Goliath, literally. It's this YouTuber Disney kid. Look how far he's come. He's actually going to do it. What if he wins? So there's that demo of his. And then there's the rest of the world who go, and they're so off on this, but they go, we got to get Jake Paul out of boxing. I can't wait to see his head get knocked off by Anthony Joshua. And that's the majority, right? So those two worlds mix, and you get the most watched boxing match on Netflix ever. More so than Mike Tyson at fucking 77 in a fake sparring match. This, So if you're Jake, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so
Sports analyst Ada Ladipo adds that Joshua has changed parts of his training style. He says Joshua has improved his rhythm and refined his approach, showing he takes this fight seriously. At the same time, Oladipo believes Jake is also evolving. Jake likely knows Joshua is adapting and has worked on new skills and plans. Oladipo feels Jake understands how big this moment is because both fighters are adjusting. He believes Jake has a real chance to surprise
training with that camp. And I mean, if you are Jake Paul, I mean, shit just got even more real. So AJ's taking it that serious. He's now training with the Usyk camp, not just for your fight, but for fights going forward. This isn't AJ saying, okay, you know what, I'm just going to train myself. Just get in shape and maybe just train with my amateur coach. This is AJ saying, no, we're going to train with Usyk's team. And I'm basically meaning, or I'm saying, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. You want me to get down to 245 pounds? No problem. We've done that before, and that was one of my best performances before. Obviously, I'm talking about AJ versus Usyk too. So, yeah, I still can't believe it's happening, but it is happening. It will do incredible numbers. I've said that I think it will do numbers as big as Canelo Crawford. Some people have laughed at that. Don't laugh, honestly, because Canelo Crawford over here, it would have been a small, minute percentage of people that would have watched it on Netflix over here. AJ fighting over here, everyone's watching it. Everyone's watching it. Everyone's watching it in Africa because that's the impact AJ has. And obviously everyone's going to be watching it in America because of Jake Paul. And then because of how that photo looked. Again, David versus Goliath. People are now way more intrigued than they were for Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul. So, yeah, I'm intrigued as to how it looks in the first 20 seconds. And then I'll be able to just make my mind up as to how long this goes. But I will still stand firm and say AJ should, not will, should get rid of Jake Paul in one round. Should. And if he doesn't, then...
Boxing analysts describe this as one of the boldest moves Jake Paul has ever made. They say he could have chosen easier opponents and grown slowly. Instead, he picked a former heavyweight champion known for power and skill. The risk is huge, but so is the reward. Even a strong loss could improve how people see Jake. A win would shock the sport. Analysts say this choice shows Jake is serious about earning respect.
Joshua's done this already. He fought a guy that he was supposed to destroy,
Right.
and then he went out there and he destroyed him. And he didn't play with his food. He didn't say, okay, it was Ngannou I'm talking about, obviously.
Of course.
Who gave Tyson Fury fits and really had everyone questioning Tyson Fury's ability because he struggled with an MMA fighter in his pro boxing debut. Anthony Joshua didn't do that. He went out there and did what we all expected Tyson Fury to do, and completely wiped the floor with the guy. And if Joshua doesn't do that this fight, I agree with you, Jimmy. It's going to hurt his stock. It's going to hurt the way that people perceive him moving forward. And also, I think, honestly, and if he doesn't go out there and just lay into Jake Paul and end it in the first, if not second round, to me, it's gonna look fishy to me. It's gonna look like this was a setup. This was an exhibition. This wasn't a real fight. If this is a real fight, it should be over in 90 seconds because Anthony Joshua is a legit gold medalist, super heavyweight, crazy athlete, awesome power, and Jake Paul just isn't on that level in any way. And he's not in end. He's undersized. You know, Jake Paul was fighting a cruiserweight in his last fight. He was under 200 pounds. You know, Joshua is a legit 250 pounds with abs, and the guy punches with the right hand like a cannon.
The one advantage Jake Paul has had in previous fights, and we all know people who have worked with him, and they go, he's got natural power. He can hit pretty well for his size. Not elite, right? Not world champion, but he can hit pretty well for his size. Paulie, that one advantage that he's had in previous fights is completely gone in this one. Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean, I still think Jake can hit a little bit.
Yeah,
he may be able, if you hit Joshua on the chin, you can hurt him. But that's been what if Mike Tyson?
You gotta
lands,
get there, Chad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if Mike Tyson lands on Jake? What if Arturo Gatti would have hit Floyd Mayweather? I can remember that argument back 20 years ago. The what if he hits?
Analyst Sean Jones looks at the marketing side of Jake Paul's career. He explains that Jake still uses the YouTuber versus Anthony Joshua label because it draws attention. But behind that image, Jake has changed. He is no longer a beginner. He has faced real opponents, built a professional team, and developed real boxing skills. Analysts say Jake plays the entertainer role on purpose, but at his core, he is now training like a true boxer.
Himself as a YouTuber, as a Disney star. I'm just a YouTuber, guys, and I'm going up against Anthony Joshua. All the cards are stacked against me, and I think people still buy into that narrative. Jake Paul is a bad boxer. He can't box. When I've seen pretty notable boxers say, look, Jake Paul is decent. I've seen a few people on my last video saying, how dare you say Jake Paul is a decent boxer? You've got to remember, when I say Jake Paul is decent, I'm not talking about within the context of being a world champion. I'm just talking about he's learned to box pretty okay, better than most people. He has actually beaten a couple pro boxers. Now, I know once again, we have the caveat that, the last pro boxer he fought wasn't a full-time boxer, hadn't fought in a couple of years, and his last 2 fights were losses. I get it, but he has still fought like 2 or 3 pro boxers. So he can box, but there are different levels to being able to box. Everyone can box, it's just to what level. Jake Paul has been doing this since, was it 2018, his first fight, or 2019? We're going into 2026. It's like 6 years, 7 years. He's been training consistently with a good team. How do you Jake Paul haters not understand that? Even you, if you trained for that long and you've got millions of dollars sparring pro fighters in your fight camps, you're going to get pretty decent. Oh my God, it's not hard to understand. Try and drop the narrative that I hate Jake Paul so much, he's this, he's that. He's a knobhead. He can't box. Yeah, he might be a knobhead. He might be a divvy, but he can box. But I'm not saying he can box to the level of Joshua. Fucking hell. Listen to the friggin' context, will you?
Combat analyst Luke Thomas breaks down the fight from a technical view. He says Joshua is not only big and powerful, but also very smart in the ring. Joshua can read opponents, notice patterns, and apply pressure carefully. Thomas believes Joshua's biggest strength is his fight intelligence. He knows how to control distance and timing. Jake must prepare for more than power. He must face a skilled, experienced boxer and fight with patience and discipline.
For that weight class, Anthony Joshua is a gigantic 6'6" heavyweight. Now, he is coming off of a devastating KO loss himself to another big heavyweight named Daniel Dubois. This was a big show. But Jake Paul, while, has a decent pop for a guy who has not been doing boxing that long, it's almost incomprehensible. This is the kind of thing the state would never have regulated before. They now seem much more open to it than they ever once were. But I also think that there might be something happening, and this is, I'm speculating. I want to be clear. I'm not giving you skinny, But like, I don't understand how you can go from a bout with a guy that you are massively oversized against, who's very good, to one who you are massively undersized against, who's also very good, who's a devastating, dangerous puncher. It's like, does he owe Netflix something? Is he feeling the heat to produce for them because the Gervonta fight kind of fizzled out for all the reasons that it did? I honestly don't know, but I'm like, I'm not even doing a bit here. I'm like legitimately concerned for his health. Like,
it looks like Rocky's facing off Ivan Drago. When you look at their pictures standing, it looks like something that's cinematic that you'd be like, that would never happen in boxing.
Right. Honestly, maybe even a little bit worse than that, just in terms of the size of Anthony Joshua. I want to make a caveat. I've been covering this industry for so long that I've just seen so many crazy things happen that, yes, we cannot rule out the possibility that Jake Paul could win here. Again, he's got a little bit of pop, and Anthony Joshua is coming off of a devastating KO loss. But the difference in ability and the difference in accomplishment and the difference in size and the difference in what they've shown is so...
Michael Bisping focuses on the entertainment side of the fight. He admits many critics dislike the matchup and think the skill gap is too wide. However, he says that controversy is what creates massive interest. He compares it to past Jake Paul fights that drew huge audiences despite criticism. Bisping believes this fight will be the same. Curiosity and debate will pull people in as fans wait to see if Jake can really stand across from Anthony Joshua.
The whole idea of it is that it's an exhibition, right? For the Jake Paul fans, for the Anthony Joshua fans, so everyone can tune into Netflix, and it would be a spectacle, just like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, right? That was a farce, it was a spectacle, but it was one of the most watched sporting events that year. Maybe of all time, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but a lot of people tuned in to watch that, okay? And that was an exhibition, and that's what this will probably be. I mean, it's like Thunderlips versus Rocky back in the day. Remember Thunderlips, played by Hulk Hogan?
Thunderlips is here. In the flesh, baby.
Oh my God. Right? He goes up against Rocky Balboa. Rocky 3, by the way. Love the Rocky movies. Some of the best boxing films of all time. And what happens? Thunderlips is going absolutely mental in the ring. Okay? He's trying to kill Rocky Balboa. Picks him up, throws him out the ring. Rocky gets in there having a good old-fashioned tear up. And then at the end of it, Thunderlips wants a picture because it was all bullshit. Okay, it was all an exhibition. It was all for the fans. Okay.
While you're still calm, can we get that Polaroid together? Yeah, sure.
And that's all this is. Okay. Granted, I don't know. Maybe they come out and they say, "Oh no, this is legit. This is a real sanctioned heavyweight boxing matchup." I don't think they will, but if they do, I'll still call number one God